What's up, everyone? Just letting y'all know it's the countdown to my birthday, and like I said yesterday, I'd give you some updates about the trucking industry. So we're going to start off with a little bit of trucker news. Lack of English Language Proficiency ranks among top trucker violations in June, a Wyoming State Trooper says. Dozens of commercial vehicle drivers failed to prove that they can speak and read English during interviews with Wyoming Highway Patrol last month. The Wyoming Highway Patrol Commercial Carrier Division recently shared the top commercial vehicle violations uncovered during June 25, 2025. The violation that topped the list is operating a CMB without proof of periodic inspections. I'll touch on that in a couple minutes. But not far behind, at 5th place was WHP's top 10 violation list is drivers cannot satisfy English Language Proficiency, or ELP. Failed interview with 66 violations issued in June. Non-compliance with existing federal regulations requires ELP for commercial vehicle drivers was declared an out-of-service violation as of June 25th, 2025, following a major push from the White House for increased enforcement of the language requirements for truckers. In order to avoid being placed out of service, commercial vehicle drivers must demonstrate the ability to read and speak English Language Proficiency, to converse with the general public, and understand highway traffic signs and signals in the English language, to respond to official inquiries and make entries on reports and records, officers said. The WHP, or Wyoming Highway Patrol, reported conducting a total of 1,346 commercial vehicle inspections in June 2025. The troopers thanked the truckers who passed through their inspections without violation. While over one-third of the drivers inspected had clean inspections, including 214 trucks who earned a new CVSA decal on their windshield. A big thank you to all the drivers who kept their logs up to standard and their trucks in great shape. You are doing your part in keeping the highways safe. English Proficiency also cracked WHP's top 10 CMB violations in May of 2025, with 71 violations. So, this is interesting. I was a little surprised about this because Wyoming topped the list of putting most trucks out of service for English proficiency. Especially given that Arkansas and Oklahoma were the two states that pushed this law the hardest. But looking at this, I wasn't too surprised with the top 10 violations. Top number one being operating a commercial vehicle without proof of periodic inspection. For those of you who don't know, I mean, as a truck driver, as a tractor trailer driver, I am required to perform in-depth inspections on the truck and trailer every single day before I turn the key and after I shut down for the day. And I have to make notations of that every single day. I have to put that into my logbooks that I do that. And it's a law because of a specific reason. I mean, as I keep saying, this is an 80,000 pound piece of machinery that is running up and down the highways like a bullet. If something breaks on this truck, it can potentially be catastrophic. These trucks do not stop. I mean, they just don't. So, if something breaks, it can be catastrophic. So, again, I mean, it is important. The number two. So, number one violation was not doing your periodic inspections. There was a total of 128 citations. Number two, top violation, with a count of 118 citations, was for tires being defective. Again, that goes on to, I mean, that kind of falls in line with the number one top violation, because that's one of the biggest things we have to look at when we do our daily inspections is the tires. Are they leaking? Are they bald? Are they broken? Are they defective? In any way, we have to inspect that every day, and we have to get that fixed, because the wheels are what make this piece of equipment move. So, again, that falls into violation number one. I mean, should be seen. Of course, there's always going to be defects in tires that we cannot see. I mean, even though we're trained to have a critical eye, we're trained specifically what to look for, what are the signs of a bad tire. A lot of things we don't see, and it is what it is. I mean, we can't see what's going on underneath the rubber. So, I mean, when we do our inspection, we check the inflation pressure, we check the tread depth, we look for cracks, we look for bubbles in the sidewall, anything that indicates that the tire is bad. But still, I mean, shit happens. Especially with recaps. What a recap tire is they'll take the outside of the tire. They'll shave it. They'll cut the outside tire off, and then they'll glue new tread onto the tire. They're a lot cheaper than brand new tires. A hell of a lot cheaper. I mean, we're talking about $1,000 difference in price between a recap and a brand new tire. And being that we have 18 tires on our trucks, I mean that's $18,000 being saved right there. So recaps are the standard. Everybody uses them. I've got like my steer tires are the only tires that are not recapped. So again, say you're driving down the highway, you see these long strips of rubber tire just laying on the highway. That's what that is, a recap. And it's called a recap failure because sometimes the glue comes undone and the tread just comes right off the tire. I mean, there's no warning, there's no way of seeing that or preventing it from happening. mean, well, obviously there are a couple times. I mean, once in a while you can see it before it happens, and you can get it corrected or fixed or replaced. But a lot of times you can't see the warnings. It's just gonna happen. Number 3, air brake hoses, air brake system. Again, I mean, most of your cars, the braking system runs on fluid. Our entire truck runs on air. Everything, all the operations, the transmission, the brakes, it all runs on compressed air. So again, I mean, and a lot of things. Again, and you know, that's a whole lot. This truck has a whole lot of food just for the air system. Number 4. This one is kind of predictable. No driver may make false reports in connections to our duty status. That's a big one in the industry. We, as truck drivers, we have to keep logbooks, and we have to be meticulous about it. Because we are only allowed to work 14 hours per day. We have a 14-hour window to work, and we're only allowed to drive for 10 of those 14 hours. And that 14 hours, it does not stop. The second I clock in, time starts. 14 hours starts ticking away until that 14th hour is up. I can't stop the clock. So, I mean, the FMCSA they took out paper logs for the most part, and they mandated electronic logging devices that is supposed to stop drivers from cheating on their logbooks and driving longer than they're supposed to. But it doesn't. Because there is and it's just back in the day, paper logs. Everybody knew if you were cheating on your logbooks. It was a look the other way situation with carriers, businesses. I mean, they would tell you don't do it, but then they knew you were doing it, and they wouldn't do anything about it. A lot of state troopers, they knew that truck drivers. We used to have 3, 4, 5 different logbooks that we were working simultaneously just to run. State troopers do that. So when they enforced the ELD for electronic logging devices, it shifted. So now a lot of these carriers are manipulating the logbooks for their drivers. But regardless of who is manipulating the logbook, it still comes down to the driver. It's still the driver would be at fault. Whether the company manipulated the book or not, whether he manipulated the book or not, it's still on him to keep track of his own time. So, I mean, it still happens. Number 5, this was the driver cannot satisfy English Language Proficiency. And I looked into that. Back when the bill was signed, I looked into that. Like, it came down to the question, what is English proficient? I mean, hell, am I English proficient? And it's not as strict as I first thought it was going to be. And it's not. 'Cause, I mean, to be honest, I mean, a lot of people don't speak the best English. I don't speak the best English. So it just comes down, it's just more of a basics thing. Like, can you understand what's being said to you? Can you articulate that you can understand what's being said to you? Can you read that sign? I mean, you don't have to have college level English to be able to pass the English proficiency. You just got to speak and understand well enough to communicate. So there you have it with that article.